One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
Bill, you're starting your 12th year of athletic director leadership at Canisius, which is your alma mater, and that's kind of the line of questioning I want to go down today. For those who listen to this series and for readers of D1 Ticker, of course, we dig into interesting topics with athletic directors or breaking news type issues with media members and kind of a plethora of different conversations that build narrative around what's going on in college athletics. And I want to ask about what it's like to be an athletic director at your alma mater, and really even more so, what challenges you could face in that same situation that many may not expect.
Well, I would say the first thing that the opportunity that comes with it is familiarity with the campus and the program, and oftentimes the people that are in the program. Even though you may have graduated a number of years ago, you stay in touch. So when it an opportunity for to interview or to have a chance at a job at your alma mater comes up, you certainly have some inside information, some inside knowledge, and I think that's both beneficial to you and it's also an attractive piece of it because people chose the school as a student, and then to have the opportunity and potentially choose the school again as an athletic director is a great opportunity.
Are there challenges in so much as there are internal attitudes about what the university's brand is, and maybe those are harder to shape than hiring staff members or university leaders from outside the institution who have a different perspective? Is that a challenge at all?
No, I think like I said, the familiarity is an important piece of it, and every institution you would hope is comfortable in their own skin and understanding who they are and where they are in the marketplace, and more importantly, where they want to go. So I think the people that are within the university are driving that, and I think that tends to line up pretty consistently and pretty easily for people that are taking over the job. What oftentimes is a challenge, and this is a challenge for many different people, is those external expectations. And the external expectations of that you should be, your program should be doing this, or you should hire this person, or you should be in this league. And I just use those as kind of, pieces of examples. And where a lot of those questions are coming from are people that you went to school with, or people that you were on the same team with, could maybe, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
I asked this question to Blake James a day or two ago in the context of college baseball. And I want to ask it to you in the context of college men's hockey. And, of course, you guys built a new facility in Buffalo that you play in, or you helped build a new facility. Bentley has just announced they're going to build a new arena to play hockey in. Can hockey over time become a revenue enhancer for departments around the nation?
Yeah, yes, it can. Certainly, the opportunity to attract fans in the right marketplace, and if you have sustained success, you can generate revenue and build revenue in your hockey program. There's advertising opportunities that come with it, and I think all of those things play into it. And what drives the success of any sport from a revenue standpoint is strongly correlated to their success on the ice or in the whatever playing field it is, and your opportunity in hockey, being that there's only 70 programs nationwide, about 70. I always get lacrosse and hockey confused in terms of what the number is, but there's certainly that number of programs where your success on a national basis can, in a much more reasonable depth pool, can allow you to have that national success and have a top 25 program in relation to baseball or football or basketball, where you're competing with 300 plus institutions.
I've heard this feedback from a couple of leaders around the nation. In your estimation, or in your view, would the Frozen Four in hockey benefit from a single consistent site every single year and creating some consistency there?
I would say no. I think the event is a positive enough event that there are multiple communities who are interested in hosting it, and that the game can be experienced. The college game can be and should be experienced by different parts of the country. I say that as a city that has hosted the Frozen Four and will submit a bid to host the Frozen Four. in the coming bid cycle, because I think I've seen firsthand what that can do in the attraction of the event in a community, and how many people, being in an NHL town, how many people, when they're exposed to the college hockey product, are really impressed with the speed and the skill of the game in relation to the NHL level.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting conversation, and the way I've heard it framed is, do we need an Omaha for college hockey, right? And which is interesting to consider, because Omaha has become so synonymous with college baseball, and it's such a tremendous host, and in some ways, Buffalo kind of mirrors what Omaha's done, and there's other places too. And the Frozen Four has certainly had success in cities north and south. Of course, Tampa's been a wonderful host more than once. So one last one, and you mentioned lacrosse in terms of number of programs playing lacrosse right now across the nation. Is there any reason we should not expect that sport to continue to grow, with whether it be socioeconomic reasons, youths decreasing their participation in football these days? Do you see lacrosse continuing to grow nationally, but also for intercollegiate athletics?
I definitely see the sport continuing to grow nationally. It's been one of the faster growing sports in the at the high school level and below high school level for a number of years. It's really a fun, fast game that continues to grow and requires a high level of skill in addition. So it's something that as more people are exposed to it, you're going to continue to see it grow. I do think the football, the every single play concussion, or the every single play contact issue with football will continue to affect people's decisions to play that game. And I think some of those people looking for an athletic outlet will look to lacrosse, and they have in the past. And I think it's for that reason the sport will continue to grow. At the college level, there will continue to be, in my estimation, a growth on the women's side at a much more rapid rate than the men's side, simply because you're going to always have to balance the equity questions. The men's lacrosse roster and the women's lacrosse roster are dramatically different sizes. Men is almost often 2-to-1 on the women's side, so you have to be able to balance that equity piece. And I think that's probably would be the single largest barrier to entry, if you will, for institutions that are making those decisions. I think many institutions would like the opportunity to sponsor the sport of men's lacrosse. It's a reasonable cost program. It's certainly not the least expensive, but it's certainly not the most expensive either. But the biggest barrier to entry, I think, is the equity question, and trying to make sure that every department can balance that.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.